Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How are we doing?
Good. Good.
Happy VBS kickoff day. Good to see you. How's your day been?
Good. Good.
Yeah, well, when it starts with church, can't go wrong, right? Well, I hope you like that intro music I made that on the computer. That was kind of some
I did.
fun, funky music, right?
Yeah, me and Lizzie were dancing.
I saw that. I saw that.
You guys are the only people.
That's fine. And we got a lot of people that are going to watch this video. So let me get started. First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to showing up here and taking the time. Put a lot of work into this Vacation Bible School, and I think it's going to be kind of fun. Different, not exactly like we're used to with being in person and the crafts and all that stuff, but yeah, it'll be fun. So I was just thinking how much. Excuse me. Where was I? What was I talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, boy, I am sorry. I am so tired. I just keep yawning. I'll try my best to wake up here a little bit. Problem is, do you remember that the Stamper family just got a puppy recently?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, the puppy is not sleeping real well, so I'm not sleeping real well. Now, wait a minute. Did you just yawn?
Me?
Yeah, I thought I saw you yawn too. Does that ever happen where you see someone yawn and then you yawn also? Do you ever do that?
Yeah.
You don't?
We do it a lot of times together.
Well, that happens all the time from what I've seen, especially with my wife and I. If one of us yawns, the other one yawns. With these boys, if one of them yawns, the other one yawns. That's just a scientific fact. That did you know even dogs do that? If a dog sees another dog yawn, it'll yawn too. I don't know. Maybe if a dog sees you yawn, the dog will yawn. I haven't noticed that yet. Our dog's always tired too, so maybe we're all just yawning and causing each other to yawn and be even more tired. But here, let's just do an experiment, because I wasn't quite sure if you were yawning when I was, but let's try this again. I want you to try not to yawn. Now, Elizabeth, I can't really see you. Can you sit up a little bit? I need to make sure you're doing this right. Okay. Okay, ready? So, the rule is do not yawn. Okay, got it?
Yes.
All right.
We have one for like 4 lives or 3 lives.
One chance. Ready? It's going to be a big one, right? Because I'm really tired.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I did it!
Did you yawn?
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
Nobody yawn?
Trying, it's easy not to.
Okay. Well, let's try this instead. Don't do what I do. Okay, there we go. See, yawning isn't the only thing that's contagious. Smiling is contagious. Let's try this. You laughed too? 2. Might have damaged my glasses on that one. All right. Let's try this one. All right, last one. Okay, I'm going to get up close so you can see me. Oh, that one's harder. That was my sad face. I thought maybe a sad face would be contagious too, but maybe not.
It's not contagious. It's just funny.
Oh, okay.
This is my thinking face. I've seen a lot of people laugh at it. Believe me.
Cool. Well, let me tell you this. When you see someone laugh or cry, something in your brain responds because you know what it's like, right? When you see someone laughing, you know what it feels like to be happy and to laugh. When someone yawns, you know what it's like to be tired and yawn yourself. There's a word for this. It's called empathy. Say that, empathy.
Empathy.
Empathy, right? When you feel something that someone else feels, okay? And empathy is important because that leads to compassion, okay? And that compassion is what we're going to talk about through these 5 sessions here. So, let me give you an example. We have a Lego room in the house, and I don't go in the Lego room anymore because all too often when I would walk in the Lego room, I would step on a Lego. You ever stepped on a Lego before?
Yeah.
Okay. When you see someone step on a Lego, you have compassion for them because you know how much that hurts. What? It's the worst, okay? So that's compassion. My empathy in my brain kicks in because it reminds me, when I see someone step on a Lego, it reminds me of what it feels like to step on a Lego, okay? And if my compassion is strong, then I might even help you out. I might give you a pair of slippers to wear in the Lego room or something like that, or at least ask if you're all right. So that's what compassion is. I see your hurt, I feel your hurt with you, and I help you make your hurt go away, make you feel better. But in order to show empathy, I need to see you. You need to see other people in order to be empathetic. So that's why we're all gathered together around, we're at our kitchen table. Maybe you're around a coffee table or your own kitchen table, but we're gathered around a table, our virtual table, in order to see each other and to understand how we're all feeling. So it's super important, and I'm so glad that you're here. So this is our kitchen table. This is our virtual VBS table. Also, this happens at church, right? When we were coming to church in person, we could call that the Lord's table, right? We have communion. So enough of that. Let's have a song here. The Fairy family recorded a song, and it's awesome. And I want to play it for you, and then I'm going to be watching you. I want you to sing along and do the motions. Okay?
How do you do the motion? Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Come to the table, come to the table, come to the table and celebrate with us. Come to the table, come to the table, come to the table and celebrate with us. We are all welcome, we are all welcome, we are all welcome, come celebrate with us.
I'm glad you were singing and dancing. God invites everyone to the table of blessing. Everyone is included. So we're going to sing that song again later on, and I want you to think about all the people that you would like to include at God's table when we sing it next time. All right. So today we're going to learn about a family party where everyone was celebrating around a meal, but there was one family member that was not too happy about this party. So as we begin to learn about compassion together, I want us to begin with a compassion prayer. So place one hand on your head, okay, to remind us where our thoughts come from. Another one on your heart, where love comes from. We're doing this because compassion happens in our heads, in our brains, but we feel it in our hearts. Now repeat after me. Welcoming one.
Welcoming one.
Your warm, wide arms
Your warm, wide arms
are always open,
are always open,
drawing us into your heart
drawing us into your heart
full of love.
full of love.
Make our arms your own,
Make our arms your own,
helping us
helping us
see and welcome
see and welcome
with compassion
with compassion
all those we meet.
all those we meet.
Amen.
Amen.
Good. All right, we'll do that prayer again at the end too. So here's our Bible story. I mentioned it was about a family having a party. And rather than me just reading a story to you, I found an incredibly talented group of actors to show you the story. Check it out.
Jesus told this parable. There was once a man who had 2 sons. The younger brother greedily demanded his inheritance, turned his back on his family, and left them for a far-away country. He wasted all the money he took from his family. Soon he became needy and hungry. Even though he felt ashamed, he decided to return home, hoping his father might welcome him back. When his father saw him, he was filled with compassion. He ran out to his son and threw his arms around him. He was so happy he was alive. The father got a big dinner together with the best food and drink to give thanks for his son's safe return. Meanwhile, the older brother came in from the fields, tired from working hard all day. When he heard the music and dancing, he became very angry. He refused to go in. His father went to the older brother to persuade him to come, but he said, "I've listened to you and worked hard for you all these years. You've never given me a party. But my brother comes home after wasting all his money and you throw him a huge party." His father said to him, "Son, I love you. You know what is mine is yours. But people matter more than possessions. We thought we lost your brother from our family, but he's home. Come to the table and celebrate with us."
Sometimes we call that story the story of the prodigal son or the prodigal father. Well, when we listen to stories, we can learn so much from the feelings of the people. And this is one way that we learn compassion. We see, listen, and recognize what people are feeling, and this helps us to feel their joy and their hurt with them. And sometimes it requires a bit of imagination on our part because the story might not tell us directly what the person is feeling. For example, we might focus on the younger brother or the father in the story, but the older brother has something to teach us too. So compassion helps us to see how every human being is important and loved by God. All right. Now, for this craft portion here, all our crafts are going to be coloring. If you've looked at the curriculum already, you'll know that. But show me, if you have printouts of this, show me you have this thing. Yes.
I don't have one.
That's all right.
We will tomorrow. The printer wasn't working, so Daddy's printer will do it.
Okay. So what we're going to do with this is each time we meet, or whenever you do this at home, you're going to cut this out, color it in, and then maybe you can find a hole punch or something like that, and you're going to hang these from maybe a piece of yarn or a string or a stick even, and by the end of our time together, we're going to have 5 of these hanging up, and each story is going to remind you about what we talked about. So in this case, we have the father and the brother who ran away but came back, and the older brother who's wondering, hey, what's going on here? Okay. It reminds us to have compassion for everyone. Also, one of our big projects, which I think is super cool, is the poster. So also in your packet, you're going to find 6 pieces of paper, and you cut out along the lines, and you fit them together, and it makes this big poster that you get to color. We have ours hanging up on our pantry over here. Let me see. You might be able to see it a little bit. Haven't had too much time to color it yet, but we will. So I want you all to be working on that too over these next 2.5, 3 weeks, and see if you can't end up with a really cool poster with all sorts of things to find in there. There's a sheet in the curriculum that asks you to find certain things, so definitely check that out with your family. Let's see, what else? Excuse me. Right now, I need to find where we're at. Hold on. Okay, so here's the game we're going to play. And Allison, you had that one printout. Do you have the faces too? Did you happen to print those out and color them?
No.
All right, no big deal. Listen, we're going to play a game here. I want you to tell me and Nolan and Kyle, I'm backwards on my screen here. Nolan and Kyle, a simple story, a 1-sentence story about something that has happened to you in the last week, okay? And I'm going to use these cards to guess how you were feeling, okay? So my options here are happy, silly, scared, mad, excited, and sad. Now let me give you an example, okay? We'll do Kyle's. If you heard the story from this morning, Kyle found a snake across the path when he was hiking. How do you think he felt? Right? Yeah. Okay. So that's how it's going to go. You're going to tell me a story, just 1-sentence story, and the Stamper boys here are going to work together to see if we can figure out, if we can use our empathy and figure out how you were feeling. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. It can just be a very simple thing that happened to you in the last week, and then we're going to guess how you felt. Give me a little wave when you're ready to go if you have an idea. All right, Elizabeth, I think you're muted, so make sure you unmute yourself and tell.
Muted me.
All right, what's your story?
The other day, I was at my daycare. We went to this park, and all the playgrounds were closed there. So we went on this 5-hour walk or whatever, 4 or 5-hour walk. Yeah.
To a closed park. All right, guys, how do you think she felt?
I guess both of these.
Just pick one.
We both get to pick one.
Okay, you both get to pick one. She'll tell us which one. Hang it, hold it up so she can see him. Why'd you cross your arms?
Okay, that one looks like mad and that one's sad. Sad and mad.
Okay, no one's right, I think. I was sad.
Sad. Yeah, I bet you were sad. That's frustrating.
Why not mad?
Kyle would get mad if that was sad. Okay. You have another one, or does Allison want to go this time? Allison, you have an idea of something that happened to you? You could even give us your story from the box this morning, because I bet we could guess that one too, about what your dog did. Or tell us whatever story you want.
Yesterday, I had a birthday party and my friends all came.
You had a birthday party and your friends all came. All right. How did she feel?
Excited.
We have excited and happy. Allison, was one of those how you were feeling?
Excited.
Excited. Woo!
I'm winning!
A lot of competition.
2,
All right.
nothing.
Cool. So that's just a simple game, and you can cut those out, color them, and you can play this game with your parents, and it helps you practice compassion and empathy, thinking about how other people are feeling. So this is a great thing to do every night. Maybe you take some time as a family to share your highs and lows, or just a simple story that happened to you during the day, and then you can take turns kind of guessing how you all were feeling at that time. So that's how we're practicing empathy. It's a fun game to do that. All righty. Well, at this point, I again want to thank you so much for joining us and having so much fun together. Listen, each week we're going to do a little bit of movement too. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense just to watch someone else talk about moving and show you how to move if you're sitting on a couch or a chair. So this would be a great time to get up, and we're going to practice some yoga here, okay? I'm going to give you a minute to find an open space.
Hi everyone, we are going to do some yoga together now. This is a breath and yoga sequence to connect our body to compassion's gift of welcome. Breath itself is a powerful way to connect to our bodies. Just to give you a little background, yoga began as a spiritual practice in ancient India, which the word actually, yoga, means union. So union of breath, mind, and spirit into one, and into connection with the divine, or we might say with the Spirit of God within us. So we're gonna start by saying namaste to each other. So we're gonna put our hands at heart center, and traditionally you bow and say namaste, which means the light in me sees and bows to the light in you, or you can think of it as the divine or the Spirit of God in me sees and bows to the divine or the Spirit of God in you. So we're going to start with our legs crossed, sitting on the floor, and hands just gently resting on our knees. And we're going to sit up nice and tall. And as we inhale, we're going to think, I see. And as we exhale, and welcome. I see. And welcome. One more time. I see and welcome. Now we're going to slowly move forward, putting our hands on the floor and coming into child's pose. So put your hands down on your floor and knees underneath your hips, and then you're going to sit back onto your feet, and you can make your knees go wide if you like, so you can bring your head all the way down to the floor. And as we rest our head down on the floor, child's pose is a pose where we connect with God's creation, the earth, and God's spirit within each of us as we bow our bodies and our hearts. Take a big breath in and then blow it out. And then we'll breathe in and come back to our table pose. So hands are underneath our shoulders and knees are underneath our hips. The table is a place of regrounding. Feel your steadiness. There is room for everyone at God's table. Now we're going to tuck our toes under and lift our hips, stretching our legs long, coming into downward dog. We let ourselves be stretched and prepared to see what's to come. And then we're gonna rock ourselves forward into a plank. So bringing our hips down in a straight line like the top of a push-up. And then lower all the way down to the floor. You can put your knees down, keeping your elbows in, lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes and gently push with your arms coming up for upward dog. Coming onto the tops of your feet for upward dog. We face the sun and welcome what this day holds for us. And we'll set our knees down, come back to table, tuck our toes, make our way back to our downward dog. And maybe this time you wag your tail a little bit from side to side. Nice. And then step or hop your feet forward. And we'll slowly stand up, coming all the way up to mountain pose. Standing nice and tall, reaching our hands down towards the floor, our feet down towards the earth, and the top of our head up towards the ceiling. And we'll take a big breath in. And as we blow it out, bring our hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for doing yoga with us today.
All right. Excellent job. Well, listen, one other craft that I would like you to do, and maybe you can do it before we meet again on Wednesday, and then you can show it to me on Wednesday, is we're going to create a centerpiece. You know what that is, a centerpiece?
No.
It's something in the center. It's like a piece of something that's in the center, like centerpiece. It's in the middle of the table, okay? Like sometimes there's flowers in it, or fruit, maybe like a basket of fruit. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a centerpiece, and there's a couple suggestions in your curriculums that your parents can show you. But what we're going to do is we're going to collect items. We're going to find things in our house. We could maybe even make things like little paper flowers or banners or something. We're just going to make something to put in the center of our table to remember that God is at our table and that we should use our table to welcome other people, all people, actually. So make sure that by Wednesday, I would love to see your centerpieces. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just find some things and put it in the middle of the table and take a picture or show it to me on the video. All right. Listen, we're going to do the song. Actually, if you want to do the song again, you can check out the recording. We'll let you do that on your own. Right now, we're going to say the closing prayer. It's the same prayer that we did before, so it's the whole hand on your head and heart thing. And this time, the Kellio family from church has recorded something to teach us and show us. So one more video here for you.
So in closing, we saw how when we gather around a table, even like a virtual table, we can see and feel the emotions that are present around the table. In our Bible story today, the father saw and welcomed his younger son. He showed compassion when he saw his son's shame and sadness. The father welcomed him back home.
But sometimes we forget the father also showed compassion to the older brother by seeing his hurt and frustration. He showed compassion and welcomed his son to the table. The father reminded both brothers they are fully loved no matter what. Let's end with our compassion prayer. Place one hand on your head and one hand on your heart. We're doing this because compassion happens in the brain, but we often feel it in our hearts.
Repeat after me. Welcoming one.
Welcoming one.
Your warm white arms
Your warm wide arms
are always open.
are always open.
Drawing us into your love.
Drawing us into your love.
Make our arms your own.
Make our arms your own.
Helping us to see and welcome.
Helping us to see and welcome.
With compassion, all those we meet.
With compassion, all those we meet.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, that's it. That is our first live VBS gathering. So thanks for showing up. thanks for watching later, for everyone who's going to be viewing this recording. It was so much fun, and I'm glad that we have 4 more of these, 4 more stories to learn from, 4 more songs to sing, 4 more prayers, and a whole lot of coloring. So make sure that you're coloring. Nobody's bored of these next few weeks. You always have something to color, okay?
Okay.
And I'm really excited to have some more families helping out with the videos of prayers and Bible stories. So I'm very excited to see those, and just a reminder to all parents that I would like those a day before we're gathering, so that it help me not feel scared, maybe, that we wouldn't have everything together,
Sad.
or sad, so that I can be excited, okay?
I'm happy.
And happy. So, thanks a lot. God bless, and we'll see you Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.